You probably read about Colombia 2 days ago. They said, no, we're not taking them. I said, we're going to take them. You're going to take them. You're going to like it, too.
X gon' give it to you.
A few moments later.
Damn, I even treat my grocery bags better than this. But I guess that's one way to treat criminals.
Meanwhile,
Quickly take him into custody. He's an MS-13 gang member wanted in El Salvador for aggravated murder. And he has an Interpol red notice out for his arrest.
We are targeting very violent threats to our community.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
I'm not going back to Haiti. He was indeed going back to Haiti. How the heck were these people allowed to roam our streets? This is a great way to make our streets in America safe again.
This is a Fox News alert. We are getting an exclusive firsthand look at the latest Trump administration deportation flight from El Paso, Texas to Ecuador.
A total of 80 migrants shipped out on the U.S. aboard a military plane. That one right there. And we're also taking a closer look at the career criminals arrested during the first day of ICE raids right here in New York City.
Any regrets coming into the United States illegally?
Shackled one by one, Fox gets an exclusive look as dozens of illegal migrants are escorted onto the C-17 military plane headed back to Ecuador.
Don't come to the United States illegally. If you do come to the United States illegally, you will be removed.
Now, if you guys really think about it, the fact that all this is happening so quickly, it just goes to show you how absolutely useless the Biden administration was.
¿Cómo fue el trato desde el principio?
No, terrible, terrible, terrible. O sea, la comida con mi bebé, casi me robaron en México, me robaron todos los documentos, el celular, casi se roban a mi bebé.
¿Cuánto tiempo estuviste detenido y cómo hiciste con el niño?
8 días. No, él no ha comido, él está en desnutrición. Allá lo llevé al médico y él está en desnutrición. Él no ha comido en todos estos días, no ha comido.
¿Qué mensaje le das al país ahora que estás acá?
Que no se vayan. No se vayan porque los están deportando a todos, no, o sea, no los van a soltar al siguiente día, sino allá hay personas que llevan un mes, hay gente desaparecida. No, que no se vayan y ya hay ejército, ya mandaron soldados a las fronteras, los ponen en el asilo, pero no los sueltan allá, los dejan. Nos dieron prioridad porque pues traemos a los bebés. Pero duré 8 días allá donde, o sea, sin comer bien, los tratos eran horribles, nos levantaban, mejor dicho, como si fuéramos lo peor del mundo.
Vale, gracias.
Desde el principio nos trataron muy mal, nos botaron la ropa, nada más nos dejaron guardar el celular, no nos dejaban bañar, la comida nos despertaban a las 3 de la mañana, nos esperaban que nos durmiéramos y a la hora nos despertaban, nos gritaban, a algunos les pegaron. La atención médica prácticamente tocaba lastimarse para que nos dejaran salir. El trato fue muy malo desde el principio, la verdad.
¿Y cambió cuando llegó el gobierno de Colombia?
Sí, ya el último día no nos dejaron bañar, nos dejaron cepillar, prácticamente nos trataron bien, ahí sí nos decían que gracias, que dónde vivimos y todo eso. Ahí sí se preocuparon del todo, la verdad.
¿Qué mensaje le das al país?
No, pues la verdad que estamos felices de volver. Ansiábamos mucho estar en nuestra tierra, extrañábamos la verdad estar por acá y que la verdad algunos nos arrepentimos de habernos ido.
Gracias.
Imagine making a whole life-changing journey just to come back and give it 1 star. You know, this is the only way to put American citizens first and to keep the criminals off our streets. America is finally becoming a serious country again.
Recommendation of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Holman,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way.
Please respect the chair's authority. The
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Holman!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Do it the legal way. What doesn't she understand about that? 2 + 2 is not potatoes. I honestly cannot think of a better man for the job. And the crazy thing is, Tom Holman, he just wants to enforce existing laws. Imagine that. And these are the types of people we are deporting.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Señor, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies.
San Francisco is a sanctuary city. We will always be a sanctuary city.
We want to be clear. The Sheriff's Office does not and will not take part in immigration raids or any federal law enforcement actions directed towards the immigrant community.
Very simple message. If you want a safe city, you must support a sanctuary city. Sanctuary city, the whole point, the whole purpose is to make sure that people feel safe testifying to crimes and reporting crimes. So a safe city is a sanctuary city. And I want to end by saying that immigrants built our nation, immigrants make our country better, and in San Francisco, we support and celebrate our immigrant community. Thank you.
Are we here to stand with immigrants? Are we here to stand with our families? Are we here to stand with our workers? Donald Trump, this is what community looks like.
And you guys want to know what's crazy? The city of San Francisco wants to break the laws and allow illegal aliens to stay in their city. Well, that pretty much explains why San Francisco is failing and is becoming the new Gotham City. Take a look.
Hotels, a restaurant, and residents are suing the city of San Francisco for allegedly creating a containment zone of open-air drug use and violence in the Tenderloin neighborhood. According to the complaint, the city has been negligent, created public and private nuisances, and violated the Americans with Disabilities Act by allowing tents to block sidewalks. The hotels and restaurants have reportedly had trouble hiring workers, and their businesses have suffered because of conditions in the neighborhood.
Have you ever been affected by car breaking or know anyone that has?
Yeah, so when I lived in Noe Valley for a year, I had street parking. My car got broken into 3 times. And in addition, by the Palace of Fine Arts, which is kind of by the water over there, I've actually just seen a break-in in front of me happen, and it's very fast. Happens all the time.
All I gotta say is, if you're American, very pale American, I hope you don't have plans for spring break in Mexico, because there's a lot of people that are mad right now. And among other things, you wouldn't want them spitting in your food. Or your drink. At those all-inclusives in Cancun.
She's literally hurting Mexico's tourism. Why are liberals just so dumb? They do stuff without thinking about the consequences. And doesn't she know that the Trump administration saved 80,000 kids from being trafficked? Take a look.
Now, the second wave that Tom Homan, the borders are for Trump has told me about in all of this will focus on those missing children, hundreds of thousands of them that we know. And that number has started to already come down, Emily, from 300,000. So they've found about 75 to 80,000 of those kids already. If they can get the list of these guys, 4 full days in office for Trump, if they can get the list of where some of those kids have been, and they've been identifying it, since the election, going after them and trying to find those little ones, what in the world was Biden's administration doing? What was Secretary of Homeland Mayorkas doing when he said to the committees on Capitol Hill, we don't know where those kids are, I'll look into it? No, dude, you obviously had a better way to find them, and you didn't do your job. I can't believe they impeached him and didn't remove him.
Amazing that the Republicans were able to find 80,000 missing kids in 4 days, and the Democrats couldn't find one in the last 4 years. They are literal monsters. The fact that this hasn't been on mainstream media is horrendous. This is why I'm trying to use this platform to get the word out.
That's why I'm so sick of these bitches. How many times you around, you won't say something that was lying. You won't say something lying. I don't understand how you gonna be naked. You don't understand what you want to say. You want next time I wake up, you can just look me wrong. You gonna do.
He said he was going to focus on those violent offenders first. So is violent offenders no longer the predicate for these people to be deported?
The president has said countless times on the campaign trail, I've been with him at the rallies, I know you've been there covering them too, Peter, that he is focused on launching the largest mass deportation operation in American history of illegal criminals. And if you are an individual, a foreign national, who illegally enters the United States of America, you are, by definition, a criminal. And so therefore, you are subject to deportation.
Of the 3,500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office, can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws, and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
She said that with such grace and respect. I like her. She's very straightforward.
Morning, Madam Chairwoman and members of the committee. I am a volunteer with Equality Kansas, but I'm here today on behalf of my family. I'm a mother of 4. I'm a Kansan, and 2 of my children are receiving gender-affirming care. My son has always been the happiest child I've ever known. Since he was a toddler, we called him Sunshine for his infectious joy. However, when he was 10 in 4th grade, that all changed. He began waking up in tears, and I would have to physically carry him into school while he was fighting me to avoid going. That winter, we discovered cuts on his arms and legs. He admitted that he was cutting himself with scissors. We locked up all sharp objects in our house, and still I found cuts. My son admitted that he was going to the restroom at school and cutting himself there. A safety plan was put in place, and still, months later, the school called me and said that they could no longer keep him safe. He was admitted to a psychiatric hospital as a suicide risk. It was the worst feeling as a parent to know that I could not keep my child safe from his own pain. After diagnosis and medications, our son began to recover. We will never forget the day he came home from school and told us he had the best day ever. And it was simply because he asked his class to call him by a new name and told them he was a boy. After his mental health was stabilized, he was diagnosed with gender dysphoria. And we sought a doctor who specializes in this care. Today, my son knows who he is.
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Look, if you're 18 and think you're the opposite gender, you have mental illness. Now, if you're a kid and you think you're the opposite gender, your parents have mental illness. This is my ear after hearing these people talk.
He needs some milk.
I am obviously acutely aware that my presence at this podium represents a few firsts. I am a Black, gay, immigrant woman, the first of all 3 of those to hold this position.
How are we? Good to see all of you. It's an honor to be here with all of you. A lot of familiar faces in the room, a lot of new faces. And President Trump is back, and the golden age of America has most definitely begun. The Senate has already confirmed 5 of President Trump's exceptional cabinet nominees.
Another perfect example of why DEI needs to go. Pay attention. When Biden's press secretary got up there, what was the first thing she was talking about? Race, gender, sexual orientation, yada, yada, yada. Trump's press secretary gets up there and actually starts talking about the Trump administration. One is focused on things that aren't their job, race, gender, sexual orientation, and the other is actually focused on things that are their job. Biden's press secretary led with her race, gender, sexual orientation, all that. Trump's led with focusing on what her job is, talking about the Trump administration, representing that administration, and answering questions. It's just a night and day difference. I am glad that we no longer have an administration prioritizing DEI. It's time for that to go. Get it out of here.
DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is just another term for didn't earn it. Look, we want somebody with the right qualifications and skill sets for the job, not your race, gender, or skin color. If I'm on a plane, I want the plane to fly me to my destination. I don't give a bullocks about your pronouns, them, they, if you identify as non-binary or not. I just need to know, can you get me from point A to point B without crashing? Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.